Welcome parents, grandparents, teachers, administrators, fellow students, and friends to the Abington Avenue graduation of the class of 2020. In front of me are dear people who helped shape the young women and men that we have become. A pandemic had altered our plans for the end of the year, and it seems for the foreseeable future. Yet we are determined to ensure one another's happiness and to finish the year strong. Stronger, in fact, than anyone imagines. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for being my biggest supporters since day one. Where would I be without your love, patience, kindness, guidance, and belief in me? As Sri Lankans newly arrived in the US, we had no guaranteed start to speak of. Unknown and unknowing, we barely spoke English. Kind people helped us to settle into our new life here and show us around New Jersey. Over time, I learned English, and I did well in my studies, and my parents found themselves busy in gainful employment. We entered the first phase of a long and successful journey. On behalf of my classmates and I, we thank all of you. In our continuing journey, we will face hardships and share great joys. We are confident that we will find the right people to guide us through the challenges, and just as importantly, help us to excel rather than settle for a job well done. Despite the difficulties 2020 has thrown at us, we will remain strong. While the pandemic has definitely changed our plans for the end of the year, who would have imagined our world would change so abruptly? Once challenged, we are determined to finish our final year at Abington with a flourish. We will miss one another dearly, yet we will believe the best will come to each of us. Here's to us, the Abington Avenue graduating class of 2020.
Welcome to Education, Innovation, Leadership and Community Service, community outreach initiative launched via Facebook and YouTube. I am Gnanaseharan from the state of New Jersey in the United States of America. And today I am with Kaveethma Dhushyandan, an 8th grade student in the state of New Jersey in the city of Newark. She is currently in the 8th grade and she's about to graduate from 8th grade. And the great news that I hear from Kaveethma is that she has become the valedictorian in her 8th grade. And she plays guitar, and she is a school choir member of the school choir from the Abington Avenue School, and she's a member of Drama and Theatre Club. And also, she is the president of the National Junior Honor Society. This is the leadership organization that train the young girls and boys in the middle and high schools, and all these. And there are so many other achievements which we can't even list them. And there are so many. And such a young age, Kaveethma Dhushyandan has achieved a lot. This makes our community proud. And remember, whatever you did so far, and you are yet to go and do a lot more in your life. And so far, all those great things that you have done in your extracurricular activities and your educational career will definitely inspire other youngsters in the diaspora community or the Sri Lankan community. For sure, they will follow suit. They would want to be like you when they grow up. Let me ask you now to introduce yourself. And
Hello, I am Kaveethma Dhushyandan. I am from Newark, New Jersey. I was born in Sri Lanka. I'm currently 13 years old and I'm in the 8th grade of Abington Avenue School, meaning I will be graduating pretty soon. I am a dancer, I sing, I also act, and I play the guitar on my free time. And I am very passionate about my education, and I am really thankful for the opportunity to have been able to come to America and further improve my learning and education.
You did a lot of things ever since you grew up here in Newark, New Jersey. I'm sure you have gone through a lot of positive experiences, right? And that is what made you, at least so far, that you have got a lot to be proud of, and you and your parents, Kaveethma. And your successes is the success of our community, and I'm sure there's no doubt our youngsters will look up to you, and they will definitely want to be like Kaveethma Dhushyandan when they grow up one day. Now, how did you manage? You have done a lot. You are the president of the Junior Honor Society. It's a leadership position, I know. And then you have learned Bharatanatyam, you have learned ballet, and you said you have been the school choir and the theater club, and you did a lot of things under your belt. How did you manage to do all these things while you are taking care of your education?
It definitely wasn't very easy, but it was a fun and it gave me a big opportunity. And I did this by having been able to manage my time very well and also been very determined in my education. If, if you don't put a lot of effort into your education, you wouldn't be able to have the time or the space to have the extracurricular activities like choir and dance, and you really have to organize your schedule really well. You don't want things to overlap, and that helps you also manage your time and prepare for the future too, because there's going to be a time where you're going to be very busy, and managing your time is definitely going to help you. And doing all of this will help me in the future, knowing that I will be very busy and very hardworking. And in order for me to prepare for that life, I have to be able to manage my time.
I'm sure then, I know you live with your brother, younger brother, and you're both, your mom is a full-time student and your father is a full-time worker. But so most of the time you were by yourself, right? You did everything by yourself. And that is what is amazing now. Most of the time the parents don't stay home, but the children sometime, it happens that they go off track. But here you are, Kaveethma. You took the responsibility on yourself and did everything to make sure that your education doesn't go off track. And while I'm sure you took care of your brother too at home, right? You're someone who should be praised and congratulated for not just what you did in your educational success, but you also did it in the midst of some hardships, right? Some difficult situation. You managed to come up, and that is what makes me proud of you. You have been offered scholarships to go and pursue your high school studies in a fully paid private school. And how did you get the scholarship?
So Wight Foundation is an organization that helps minority students who are very talented have the opportunity to go to private boarding schools. Now, the funds for those boarding schools are very high. They are like college funds, and since that there's that amount of money that is needed in order to attend one of those schools, Wight Foundation helps those students have the opportunity to get scholarships and grants in order to go to that school without having to pay. And the Wight Foundation also prepares children like me who are very talented to go and be prepared to life in a private school, since most of the kids in that program come from public schools or charter schools, something that isn't like being in a private school, and they help the students prepare for boarding school life and the dorm life.
With all these experiences, what would you advise to your peers or your friends on how to excel in education and other areas?
I definitely would say you have to be determined, and you need to have the want to have that success. And in order to have that, you need to understand where you are in your educational career, and you need to understand what you need in order to get to a higher position than where you are. I definitely did not have it easy because when I came to America for the first time, I didn't know English that well, and I didn't have really that many people to teach me, and so I had to learn it on my own. And I had that determination because I know that being in America was an opportunity for me to higher my education and get a better education. And I had that determination to learn English and to pursue my educational career because I know that I had an opportunity that many people don't get, and I have to use it wisely. So you need to be very determined in order to get to where you want to be.
So the parents are always a part and partial of the children's life and in education and in all aspects.
Well, I would have to say my parents definitely made a lot of sacrifices for me. Coming to America also was one of the biggest sacrifices they made because we didn't really have that much of a start here in America. And so them coming here meant that they really cared about me and my brother and our education and us pursuing and getting the best education that we could get. And I'm really thankful for the sacrifices that they made. And my mom also didn't go to school until after my brother was about 5 years old. So she sacrificed her education here in America for me and my brother to get a good education, and I'm really grateful for her. And I'm also really grateful for my father, who's working really hard. Sometimes he works like really long days and doesn't come back until late at night to help support our family, and I'm super grateful for all the sacrifices that they make for us to have a better life.
Right. So, well, as usual, they always say parents are there for the children, and your parents were, they went above their call of duty. Where do you want to see yourself in years to come? That means your ambitions and what would you like to be?
Well, in 5 to 7 years, I'll still be in college, and I'm hoping to have an even better education than I have now, and I will have in the future, so that I can bring more to so that I can bring more to people and have people learn things that they did not know that they could learn, and have people be passionate about wanting to get to a better place. I definitely want to inspire people, no matter what I'm studying, even though I'm really passionate about a lot of different things. I want to inspire people somehow in the next 5 to 7 years, make sure that they know that they can use their voice to do something great and they have the potential to do so much. And I want to make sure that people know that.
I'm sure the way that you are marching forward now in your academic and other areas, and there is a great future ahead of you, Kaveethma. Of course, you told me you arrived from Sri Lanka with your parents. How old were you when you came here?
I was around 3 to 4 years old.
Wow. Now you're 13. So you have learned a lot. So since you come from Sri Lanka, I'm sure your grandparents, maternal and paternal grandparents and your relatives are there. And how do you think you can contribute to our society, our community back home in Sri Lanka in any way possible?
I definitely want to find a way to help the unprivileged children back there and help them get a nice education, have them have a good start for their futures, because I know some of the kids there now don't really have the best education or homes, and I definitely want to change that by either making like a organization to help them there, or maybe even going myself there to maybe have some like free classes to teach them things to help them and have them prepared for their futures.
That's amazing. That is a rewarding job, Kaveethma. Whatever you do to make others' life better, that is a rewarding job, and I'm so admired, so amazed by your the positive attitude, the kind attitude that you want to go out and help others. Thank you for that, and you will definitely be rewarded accordingly. So, when the right time comes, I'm sure you will go back to Sri Lanka and help the others. One time you were awarded as the best student by the Newark Board of Education, right?
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
So we in America have to take state tests every year, and they aren't really easy or simple, and there's a lot of planning that goes behind it. And we have to take time to prepare for those tests. And last year, when I took the state test, I was able to get a perfect score for the language arts state exam.
What do you mean by perfect score? Explain.
So the scale of the scoring has 5 different levels, and I was able to get an 850, which is a level 5, and the highest score you can get on the state exam. And the board said they gave me a letter, and they gave a few other students letters, saying that there were thousands of children that took the test, and only nearly like 60 students were able to get.
I have to applaud. Yay, congratulations. All right, continue. Yes.
And we were able to be celebrated by the Newark board, and they acknowledged us on television, because that accomplishment is something that is really hard to get, and getting a perfect score on a state exam meant a lot to me, and that was one of the biggest things that helped me get scholarships and get recognized by the Wight Foundation, get valedictorian, and all of those accomplishments definitely came through with the hard work that came with getting the perfect score on the state exam.
Wow. So there is a lot more that you might have forgotten to say. I know you have been doing excellent in school and in and out of school, which will definitely be investment for your future, right? And let me take this opportunity, Kaveethma, and on behalf of the Education, Innovation, Leadership and Community Service, that is the organization that I run to inspire youngsters like you and give them whatever we can and share the stories of students from other places and even from Sri Lanka and other diaspora community. And your stories is going to speak the volume. I know you have great stories to share, and I'm so glad that you agreed to share your inspiring stories with me. I want to wish you nothing but the great success and the best educational career in your future, Kaveethma. And thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Okay.